foolish mortals. Welcome to the portal.
So hello, foolish mortals. Here we are back at Busch Gardens. We're gonna go check out, I guess, Food and Wine again and see what's happening today. So come along and let's go have some fun. Here is the Phoenix Rising test seat. The lever goes down just like all the rest of the rides. This should have a green or red light, but it does not. See if you can fit in the ride. Let's go. Okay, we're gonna go in, ride Phoenix Rising. It does look like the time is 45 minutes, so let's go ride Phoenix Rising. Okay, foolish mortals, this is the Phoenix Rising. Please enjoy, sit back, and let's do this. And that's the end of your ride. Hope y'all enjoyed Phoenix Rising. Here is the Pentopia Theater. They are showing Animal Tales, and we're going to go in and see what it's all about. Let's go. Pretty blue color.
Right here at Busch Gardens. And as an animal care specialist, it's my responsibility and privilege to understand these animals in a unique way and to fulfill their needs. But we have the special honor in sharing their tales to folks like you and people all around the world, to shine light on their stories and to inspire you all to save them. Now, every animal on stage and at the park here today are crucial to their respective environments. They each have a very special place in this world. But which is the most important? Which is the most impressive? Hopefully, by the end of today's presentation, we'll be able to answer both of those questions. So without further ado, allow me to introduce you to one of my favorite animal ambassadors, Aries. Ooh, I'm sensing a bit of tension in the room. No need to throw a hissy fit, though. Thanks for the pity laughs, snake jokes, because they hiss. Anyways, Aries here is a ball python, so that means she is neither poisonous nor is she venomous. So before we go any further, let's talk about the difference between the two. Poison has to be ingested, consumed, or absorbed through the skin in order to have a reaction. But venom, on the other hand, has to be injected, pierced through the skin barrier, either through a set of fangs, a barb, or a stinger. And as I mentioned, Aries here is neither poisonous nor is she venomous. As a matter of fact, only about 15% of the world's snake species are actually going to be considered venomous, and a significantly fewer percentage are actually going to be poisonous. Now, generally speaking, people are typically afraid of snakes because of their ability to bite fast. So my question for y'all is, where do you think most snake bites occur on the human body? Feet? Okay, I may have heard face, but that's really only in Florida, but I did hear the correct answer. It's your hands and fingers. According to the CDC, about 85% of snake bites occur on the hands and fingers, because there's two types of humans in this world. There's people like Fred and myself who just want to cuddle up to the danger noodle every chance we get. Boop. And then there's people like my mother-in-law who want to karate chop the snake away. So, general rule of thumb is if you ever see a snake out in the wild, please be sure to leave them be, and in return, they will leave you be. Now, I'm sure you may have noticed that at every 10 seconds or so, Aries likes to stick out her tongue. What do you think she's doing when she's sticking out her tongue? Smelling, exactly. Now, snakes are going to be natural predators, so they hunt other animals for their food. Hence, they use a very keen sense of smell to find their next diet. Now, as Aries is sticking out her tongue, she's picking up scent particles or pheromones from the air or whatever she's smelling, and then she's bringing that tongue back into her mouth and into her nasal cavity, and that's called the Jacobson's organ. There, that's going to interpret whatever information she can pick up, like what kind of animal has been around, predator or prey, or how recently that animal has been around, or maybe right now Fred's deodorant is working today. Who knows, we're all zookeepers here. But anyways, they use that very keen sense of smell to sense the surroundings around them. Now, ball pythons are exposed to the exotic pet trade, so they can be brought into areas where they don't naturally belong in. But their native range is actually going to be in Western Africa, and there they have a really important role in regulating various populations of mice, rats, frogs, moles, lizards, you name it, to keep those populations in check and to keep the entire ecosystem in a nice, healthy balance. And after all that, Aries ain't so scary now, is she? Yes, well, thank you for your honesty, but I think she's ready to go back to her heat lamp behind the scenes, so everyone say, see you later. Nutrition Center team dedicated to preparing diets for every animal here at the park. But first and foremost, their veterinary team properly analyzes and approves every diet that gets distributed. We have over 2,000 residents that call Busch Gardens home, and our Nutrition Center team prepares over 3,000 pounds of food every single day. It was a hippo, wasn't it? Fair enough. They spend hours every single day washing, preparing, slicing, dicing, and separating all of those food groups to whoever gets their diet that day. And every diet is going to vary based off of species, age, and personal preferences, including some of our largest. Was that even an animal noise? I don't know, but let's try that again. Including some of our largest. That's gonna be a lot of paperwork. Hopefully some of our smallest, please. Oh, thank goodness. This is Emmett, I know, right? This is our Eastern Screech Owl, but before we go any further, who wants to hear an owl joke? Rhea and one other person. Well, I got another one in the chamber for you, so I'm telling you one anyway. Emmett here is quite the intellectual. Oh wait, no, this is Edgar, isn't it? Never mind, just kidding. We have two Eastern Screech Owls here, but they are both incredibly intelligent. But Edgar's favorite subject in school was actually math. But to be more specific, it was algebra. That was painful. He's brought back here. He blends right in. Now, he virtually disappears on the screen, as you can see, but that is because Eastern Screech Owls are nocturnal predators, so they hunt from dusk to dawn. And in the lowland hours of which they hunt, their teeny tiny stature and that beautiful camouflage of theirs, they make for excellent predators. So if you're a rodent or cockroach rummaging through the nighttime, you may not know your dinner until it's too late. If you don't think that's cool, well then, we don't give a hoot to give. Exactly. Sorry, I think I'm really stretching myself thin here with the owl jokes. Yeah, sorry about that. But I think he's ready to finish off his day's sleep, and let's thrive. Quills can be an adaptation. Maybe a keen sense of smell like Aries, or Edgar's camouflage, English. But regardless, even what an animal eats and how they behave can be considered adaptations. For instance, our Asian elephants are social animals, so they're adapted to live in groups, and there they can learn social and survival behaviors from one another. But some species live solitary or prefer to be on their own, including our next quirky gardens. And he was found with his sister after their mother was unfortunately struck by a car. But a good Samaritan brought Ray and his sister to a rehabilitation facility, which is a facility that raises animals until they're old enough to be released into the wild again. And when it came time for that inevitable release, Ray's sister, born to be wild, girl, she ran like the wind. But Ray, on the other hand, really liked the air conditioning and the free health care, the Uber Eats, getting fed on a silver spoon. May I go on? But with that being said, he did have the same opportunities as his sister to be released, but he decided to call Busch Gardens his home. Now, he's a great ambassador species for native animals here in Florida. But not every adult opossum is going to share the same fate as Mr. Ray over here. But every adult opossum you ever come across has to overcome many challenges to get to where they are. So let's start from the beginning. A female opossum can give birth to up to 20 offspring at a time. And those offspring can be about the size of honeybees. And they're going to stay inside of mom's pouch until they get too big. Then they are hitching a ride on mama's back. And there they're going to learn survival behaviors like scavenging and hiding. But if a predator were to stop on by or a baby accidentally lets go, mama is not stopping the car to turn around. So it is estimated that out of those 20 or so offspring, only about 1 to 2 of them are going to survive into adulthood. So just know that any adult opossum you ever come across in the wild has to overcome many trials and tribulations to get to where they are. Look how adorable he is. Let's just enjoy his presence for a second. All right, your second is over. This is my time to shine now. But I think he's ready to go off behind the scenes. So everyone give her and give Ray and Rhea a round of applause. There you go. Good job. And on that note, positive reinforcement. Now what is that? I'm glad you asked. Positive reinforcement is a simple concept, really. When an animal does something that we like or something we want to see in the future, in return, we will give them something that they like. It could be a favorite treat, it could be a favorite toy or a well-placed scratch, maybe time with an animal's favorite keeper. But regardless of the reward, positive reinforcement establishes and builds a relationship of trust to allow animals to do cool and complicated behaviors that you may see on a stage, you might see in a habitat, or you might see behind the scenes. Positive reinforcement can be used for a myriad of behaviors, including voluntary veterinary procedures like nail trims, weights, and ultrasounds, even blood collections. But positive reinforcement works for every animal, including your companion animal like dogs or cats. Now, let's recap here, shall we? I asked all of you, which animal did you think was the most important? And who did you think was the most aggressive? Who thinks that it's Aries, who can sense the direction of which her prey is gone? All right, well, it's a good thing she can't hear. Awkward. Who thinks that it's Edgar with his amazing camouflage and his cute little feather sticking out? All right, couple people. Who thinks it's Ray, who can reduce the spread of Lyme disease? Oh, okay. Ooh, that's a fair fight. All right, well, hear me out. Who thinks that every animal is important in their own unique way? Maybe them differently, anything important. There you go. It's all the above. That is always the correct answer, everybody. Take that to school, kids. But every animal has unique characteristics that help them to survive and their ecosystems to thrive. They all have a special place in this world, and so do we. We all have our own unique talents, traits, and tales to tell that make this world truly worth appreciating. And whether you're inspired to be the next conservationist, an educator, maybe a veterinarian, but hey, maybe you want to be a zookeeper, or even just a simple change of habit. But regardless of the differences you make in your day-to-day life, you make a huge impact on this world. But just by being here today at Busch Gardens, you made a great start. By riding rides, bless you, by riding rides, eating ice cream, and going on tours, and joining this presentation, you are supporting global efforts towards conservation, education, rescue, and research. So thank you all so much for letting us do what we do best, which is to celebrate and care for this world we all share. Now, on behalf of my co-workers, both the animal and the human, we hope you have a spectacular rest of your day right here at Busch Gardens. Goodbye, everybody.
So here is the Cobra's Curse test seat. Down here, it has the little red and green light. You see it coming on and off. So yeah, that's the test seat for Cobra's Curse. Okay, everybody, this is Cobra's Curse.
The darkness awakens my power. I am the serpent. I am the darkness.
And that was the Cobra's Curse. Hope everyone enjoyed. And let's get on with the next ride. There's absolutely no one here yet, so they just started. Okay, foolish mortals, this is the monsoon. Sit back and enjoy. that is it, foolish mortal.
Tengan de comer, beber y fumar para su seguridad y la comodidad de aquellos que están cerca de usted y para la seguridad de nuestros animales en el Serengeti Belt. Desde este punto en adelante, le pedimos que se mantengan sentados manteniendo sus manos, piernas y cualquier parte de su cuerpo dentro del tren. Nosotros también le pedimos para su seguridad que se mantengan sentados en todo momento. Por favor, no intente salir del tren o cambiar asientos desde este momento en adelante.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard the Serengeti Express. My name is Mackenzie, and I will be your conductor and tour guide for our journey. To repeat all that in English, there is no eating, drinking, smoking, or alcoholic beverages allowed on board the train. Parents and guardians who are traveling with children 12 years or younger, or whose feet do not rest firmly on the floor, they must be seated towards the center of the row or in between two adults. This is for their safety. We will be going out into a free-roaming animal habitat, where the animals do have the right-of-way, so please make sure you and your children remain properly seated at all times and keep all loose articles and body parts inside the train. If you happen to lose anything while we are out. Now as we very slowly start to depart the Nairobi train station, everybody look over to your right-hand side and say goodbye to our hardworking station masters. We have a full train, I know we can do better than that. Everybody say goodbye!
Goodbye, everybody.
The first roller coaster we will see on our journey is over to the left-hand side. It's this green and yellow one, that is Cheetah Hunt. Cheetah Hunt is a magnetic launch coaster with 3 different launch points that takes you from 0 to 60 or 0 to Cheetah in just seconds. It is also the longest coaster in our park with about 4,429 feet of track. We are now starting to enter our Serengeti Belt, home to all of our African animals, so please for your safety, make sure you and your children remain properly seated at all times. That striped animal walking towards the train is a grevy zebra. The grevy zebra are the largest of the zebra species, and their stripes stop about 3/4 of the way down their shoulders, leaving their bellies perfectly white. Please make sure all small children remain proper. Now coming up on our left-hand side, laying down, you may be able to see the neck of one of our female redneck ostriches. They can stand up to 9 feet tall, and they can weigh up to 330 pounds. You can also check out a fully grown male lion with one swift kick, so that is one bird you do not want to mess with. Some small tan animals with black racing stripes, those are the Grant's gazelles. They are the larger cousin to the Thompson gazelles you may have seen back at the Nairobi station. They can regulate their body temperature, and they were named after the 19th century British explorer James Grant. And a little further in the distance on the left-hand side, we have some gray animals with black shaggy tails and horns. Those are the wildebeest, also known as the white-bearded gnu in some parts of the world. The wildebeest travel with up to 1.5 million individuals in their herd and can kick up a dust cloud so large that it can be seen from the International Space Station. On our right-hand side, up in the fence line, those big boulders are the white rhinos. The white rhino can weigh anywhere between 4,000 and 6,000 pounds, and their horns are not connected to their skull, and they're not made out of bone. They're made out of a substance called keratin. If you don't know what keratin is, it is the same material as our hair and fingernails. And then over on the left-hand side, in the fence line, those brown animals are the greater kudu. They're the shyest animals on our Serengeti belt due to their very sensitive hearing. And when they feel threatened, they can stand still for up to 2 hours.
We'll go back to the future if we go that way.
Over on our left-hand side, that beautiful blue on blue coaster is Phoenix Rising. Phoenix Rising is the newest coaster in our park and is a family-friendly ride, so that means you will not go upside down. At its highest point, you go up about 80 feet in the air, and you go about 44 miles an hour. Now it is an inverted coaster, so that means that those tracks are on top of your head, and your legs and feet will be dangling below the entire ride. We are now starting to enter the Congo area of our park, and over in the Congo area we have the Banga Banga bumper cars and the Congo River Rapids.
That was Ricky. Yeah. Right back there, the long hair. No. I wonder if he works here now. Wow. going uphill.
Now coming up on our right hand side, we're going to have a break in the bushes, and if you look over, you might be able to see some water. That is the Congo River Rapids. The Congo River Rapids is a replica of the Congo River, and each raft seats up to 11 people. So that means that you can ride with 10 friends or 10 strangers. On our right hand side, we're going to have some ground animals with long horns. Those are the bongo antelope. The bongo antelope were thought to be extinct but were then rediscovered in the remote area of Kenya in the 1950s. Now they are a nocturnal species, so that means that they sleep all day and they party all night long. And over on our left hand side is the Zamnawan area, soon to be Wild Oasis. Over that area we have the Bengal tigers, the orangutans, and our very own Chick-fil-A.
Elephant.
Side of the train, which includes your head, your hands, and your feet. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please take your own article, and if you happen to drop anything aboard this train, let me somehow station national, and we will hope to receive your item as soon as possible. To your right hand side, this is tall tower that you are looking at. This is the Falcon Fury. The Falcon Fury is a drop tower that will put you about 335 feet up in the air, hold you face down for about 6 to 7 seconds, which is just enough to make you regret your decision, and then it will drop you and slow you down in speeds of 60 miles per hour. So make sure to give the Falcon Fury a try throughout your day. Over to your left-hand side, this brown and blue coaster, that is the log flume ride. The log flume ride will take you about 40 feet high for your maximum point, and then it will drop you and get you splashed and soaked with water. So it is a perfect choice if you want to beat the heat of the day. So make sure to give it a try throughout your day. Over to your right hand side, this is the back of the control area. This is Corpus Fury, Phoenix Rising, and also the Dragon Fire Grove, and a lot more. So make sure to go give the Pentopia area a visit before the end of your night and enjoy the beautiful colors and also the rides and attractions out there. Ladies and gentlemen, just a quick reminder that the Congo train station, again, the Congo train station will be closed for the remainder of the day, so we will not be stopping by it when we are going back to the San Miguel station for whoever is staying on board. Again, the Congo train station will be closed for the remainder of the day, so we will not be stopping by it for whoever is staying on board. Now over to your right hand side, this blue on blue coaster, that is the Phoenix Rising. Now the Phoenix Rising, I'm sorry, the Phoenix Rising is the newest addition to our park, and it's a smooth ride that will take you about 80 feet up in the air and then drop you at speeds of 44 miles per hour. It is also considered to be a family-friendly coaster since it does not flip you upside down, and you only need to be about 42 inches to ride this coaster. Now this next coaster you are looking at, the tall peppered tower with the green swings. This is the Serengeti Flyers. Now the Serengeti Flyers is a swing coaster that will take you and swing you back and forth up to 135 feet up and in speeds of 68 miles per hour. So make sure to give it a try if you do not have motion sickness. Now look over to your left hand side and you will notice these striped animals, and these are the Grand Zebras. Now the Grand Zebras are the smallest of their species, and if you notice that their stripes go all the way around their bellies, which leaves their bodies perfectly striped. They are also, unlike their cousins, related to the donkey and not the horse. And a very common misconception about zebras that they are white with black stripes. They are not. They are white with brown stripes, and their stripes become darker as they grow older. Now these 10 animals that you noticed right under the tree, that was the Defasa water buck. Now the Defasa water bucks are in fact not aquatic creatures, but they will run and hide in the water if they were chased or threatened by predators. Now also, if you look super closely to their noses, they form a really cute heart shape.
Oh, that used to be the Congo ride.
ladies and gentlemen, as we are making our way through this curve, that means we just entered the Nairobi area, which is home for the animal care centers, animal interactions and tours, and also it is the closest to the entrance and exit of the park. Now, if you're looking over to your left-hand side, you will notice these striped animals, 10 with white stripes and dots. These are the Nyalas. The Nyalas are essentially dimorphic species, which means the females and males look nothing alike. The females are the tan ones with the white stripes and dots, meanwhile the male is the black one with the shaggy beard and horns. Now, if you notice that also the male is almost double the size of the female. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we are slowly pulling into the train station, please remember to stay seated and keep all body parts inside of the train. And I will let you know when it's safe to exit the train on the proper side of the station. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you wish to stay on board to get back to the Sandyville station, you are more than welcome to. But if you wish to exit the train at the stop, feel free to do so. Just remember to collect all personal belongings and exit the train on the right-hand side of the station. And I will let you know when it's safe to do so. But for now, please remain seated. Again, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, once again we came, we saw, we rode some rides, and we'll see you later, Busch Gardens. Until the next time, goodbye.